In every life, some rain must fall, and you'll get wet as your sorrow calls. Oh, the sun will rise on a brand new morn. You'll be warm and dry and freshly born.
With support from Marshall County Community Foundation, Marshall County Tourism, and Judith Robert and Tom Kapazinskis. From historic downtown Plymouth, Indiana, where the Lincoln Highway and Michigan Road cross the banks of the beautiful Yellow River, it's the Wild Rose Moon Radio Hour. Tonight we have a new show inspired by the creative and necessary concept of plexiglass and the deep-seated need for transparency in the workplace. Featured in our specially outfitted studio will be the talented brother and sister team StarHeart, with Jake Borowski and Jess Lucille. We will also feature a poem by Robert Frost as read by me, your announcer, Jacob Moreno, and Cindy Davis reading a poem by Frances Ellen Watkins Harper, all to the harp music of Cindy Boener. In addition, our radio hour hosts will perform an original song accompanied by stage manager Howard Gibbs. And now, recorded live from the Wild Rose Moon Performing Arts Center, where the disinfectant flows like wine around every vibratory molecule of audio magnificence, here's the radical rascal of all things lunar, or lunatic, your radio hour host, George Schricker.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. It's great to be here. We have a very special program here with you today.
The river goes round,
Around the bend,
the river goes round, round, round till the very end. And when it stops, it starts again.
it
Won't be long till the river goes round.
It
Won't be long till the river goes round,
round and round. Well, the Wild Rose Moon Radio Hour, this is our 39th, or we're not quite sure. It could be our 40th program, but we're still debating it. But we'll celebrate on the definite 40th. Anyway, Jacob, it's so nice to see you again reading today at the Wild Rose Moon Radio Hour.
It's wonderful to be here.
Yeah, it's great, and you have such a beautiful voice. We're glad you joined our team, and that's your aspiration, to be a voice actor, and I think that's a great thing. So it's wonderful for us to be able to work together on the Wild Rose Moon Radio Hour, supporting those talents. And speaking of talent, we have with us some most wonderful talent. I saw this duo at Chicory Cafe in South Bend, and they were playing. I think it was before the evening had really set in. It was early, I think. It might have been in the afternoon, maybe you were setting up. I can't remember exactly. But I remember seeing you, and I think I got your card, if I remember, because I said, oh. And then the big question I always ask, do you sing some of your own songs? And then you said, yes, we have albums. And oh my gosh, it was exciting. And I wanted you both here. This is StarHeart is with us today, and it's Jess Lucille and Jake Borowski.
Yeah, thank you.
Great to have you both here.
Yeah, thank you.
Jake, well, let's start with you, Jess.
Sure.
Could you tell me how you got interested in music? You both grew up in the same family, right?
Yes, we grew up in the same family, same house.
Does that make you related to each other?
It
We're
does,
related,
yeah.
same mom and dad.
Yep.
Music and song and singing and instruments were pretty much all around us in our household. Our mom was really into singing and dancing and playing music on her record player, so it was always there.
Yeah,
So-
what kind of music were you listening to back then on the record player?
What was she playing on the record player, or what?
Well, she was
Let's see.
like a traditionalist folk. Like she came from the Kentucky Hills. Her family
Oh.
did,
Yeah.
and so she taught us very early about the way that those songs move generation to generation is them singing them around us. And so that's what she did when we were real little. And so I think that infused a lot of our taste before we really even knew what was going on. I mean, and then we just started getting them up right through and finding her like Joan Baez records, Judy Collins records.
Bob Dylan.
Yeah, and then you get into the singer-songwriters, 60s, 70s. And also at the same time, for me, I'm 3 years older than my sister. She put me in piano lessons when I was like 8 or 7. Around the time that a lot of kids just wanted to do everything, and that was one of the things I wanted to do. I had already failed out of karate and maybe like something else, baseball. And I was trying to quit piano.
No, you were playing soccer, and you were thriving.
That's terrible.
In soccer.
I mean, it was a fun time, but I didn't acclimate it to. I wasn't good at it, but when I was playing piano and also trying to move on to the next thing, my mom was like, "No, I think this is something that you can do well if you just keep trying to do it."
Right.
And I didn't believe her, but she didn't let me leave. And then slowly I gained a little bit more confidence on piano. And then through piano, when I started like getting 7th, 8th grade, finding the Simon and Garfunkel records, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I know this on piano. Well, I'll just pick up the guitar. And it was a little bit easier to transfer the chord progressions to the guitar. I remember distinctly thinking, wow, I can strum, and I've never learned to do it. So there must have been something with the piano, with the way that I play piano. So really, that's how that got started. And then once I picked up the guitar, it was like easy to take anywhere and everywhere, and I did.
Well, our mom, so she collected instruments. I mean, there were always instruments around, so.
What kinds of instruments?
We had a piano, guitar. We had guitars. She had
violins.
She had violin, and she had a banjo. I mean, she would just collect instruments. She just loved having it. It was just the
Here
atmosphere.
they are.
Yeah.
Explore.
And she also put us on stage for a bit.
She
I don't
tried.
know. Did you do a lot?
We did perform. I think when I was maybe in 5th or 6th grade.
I
had a lot of stage fright. Jake. He maybe had stage fright, but he was able to push through it. I let it just consume me. And
it was
I couldn't
embarrassing.
Even
I mean, for sure, but
embarrassing for me or for
no, for
I
all
was
of us.
I was very embarrassed.
But I knew it made my mom happy, and that's what it was all about. Is like she wanted to perform.
She did, yeah. She loved it.
And we were like in some show choirs, actually not far from here. I wish I could pinpoint exactly.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's my awful job to have to ask you to sing a song now, but I'm enjoying
Yeah,
the
no,
conversation.
keep going on forever. This is a song we've written, and it's called Captain.
I can take a slow ride if you need me in the morning. I can be your captain, or I can be your savior. In the wild rose moonlight, I can be a hero, 'cause I didn't know I would be so brave. You can chase shadows, you can come and rest now. I'll defend you in your battles, and the two of us will win. And if we win together, you will be my hero, 'cause I know we'd weather whatever troubles we'd be in. You can share your shadows. You can come and rest now. I'll defend you in your battles, and the two of us will win. And if we win together, you will be my hero, 'cause I know we'd weather whatever troubles we'd be in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow, what a beautiful song and what a strong place it comes from. It's really interesting. Can you tell me about that song? How did that get written?
Yeah, that was me who brought this first. The way my sister and I bring our write music is that we have tons of songs independently of each other, and then we bring them to each other for the other to add more to. And that was something I brought about 5 years ago. And honestly, personally, I was in a place where I was single and sad, and I was thinking about how to navigate that world of trying to put yourself out there. And this was the first time that I had done that via online, which is ridiculous in and of itself. So I was just sitting here writing, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna think of things that I want to say about myself that maybe I put on a profile. And it was just ridiculous. There was nothing I would ever think of that was serious. And just going through lyrics saying, this is what I am, this is what we could be together, this is what I could be if you want me to be that. And so that's where that song is. I started, it's called Captain, because I would say I could be your captain. But then when I put the word savior after that, I was like, oh, maybe it would be cooler if I juxtapose savior with captor. So it was just those kind of word exercises that I put together. And with your permission, we would like to change one of the lyrics, which we tried to do on the fly there. Somewhere in the moonlight, we're going to say, in the wild rose, moonlight. If that's okay.
Is that okay?
We'll give you some residuals
It
on
sounds
that.
Okay.
so pretty.
Because it's a brilliant, it's a good name.
That was a good name.
So yeah, that's where that song is.
Okay, well, that's very interesting because for me, it was a very, as even though it was perhaps being facetious, there was something pretty strong about it, about its blend and its sense of romance.
Yeah.
You know,
Being facetious is a shield. I say that.
Yeah,
that
we
it
do
is
that all the time, I think.
Because yeah, it's really hard to really admit that's that is the song that I wrote that I was just to me it's really sad. And I remember we first started playing it because I was still single. It would make me sad. But also
You would
my favorite
cry-
songs
you
are
would
the
cry
songs that
in the middle of the song.
I'm a sad
No.
song guy. I would sometimes yeah. But then again, I'd just be like, oh my God, they're going to think this is so fake because that's the way I want them to think that it is. But it really is comes from somewhere deep inside me that I was feeling at that time. And the brilliant things about songs that they're a live journal that you can come back to for the rest of your life as long as you remember them. Or somebody else does.
If you think of songs as ways we get in touch with a part of ourselves that is very ultimately strengthening.
Yes.
And so these poems can come from a very strong place in us, in a way to kind of send us the messages they want to send us, I think. I don't know how it's as if singing them is part of the cathartic process.
Yeah, that's definitely for me. Singing is more of I like writing, but it's the singing part that really I connect with.
Well, I love your voice, and I love the way you harmonize, and give us another song.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay.
This one's called Nothing Else to Care About.
Late in the morning, somewhere in between the space of a field we're all following. I don't want to be rude to you, but those people you know
know that I'll never get through a future argument before all the church-going sinners of told folklore sing and dance and clap their hands, leave the judgment days of the boring man. 'Cause I want to live out loud with regrets to just forget about. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Sing and dance, you just let go and let the blades of grass between your toes take us all the way back when we were young and love was new and we just begun to find the peace in the air by a nearby stream. Our souls laid bare, but we dared to dream. 'Cause I fell in love out loud with nothing else to care about. Whoa, whoa. Have you ever slept under a moon as big as the sky? Have you ever woken up to the sound of the ocean tide? Look around for the thing that got us high. Sing and dance, you just let go. Let the blades of grass between your toes take us all the way back when we were young and love was new, but we just begun to find the peace in the air by a nearby stream. Our souls laid bare, we dared to dream. 'Cause I fell in love out loud with nothing else to care about. Oh, we fell in love out loud with nothing else to care about. Whoa, whoa. Thank you.
Thank you.
What a cool little ending, too. That's really, really neat. So tell me about this song. Where did it burst from?
And this is another one of mine. Now, the next two will play are Jess's, so
Oh, good.
don't worry,
Well,
please. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was a little concerned about
Yeah,
that.
no.
I'm
We
here.
do
I'm here.
50-50.
I'm here
We
still.
grew up also emulating and wanting to be the Indigo Girls. And the way we saw them play music or write music is they always, on their albums even would go, one would have one song and the other would have another song. So this song, actually like 6-7 years ago, I was asked to play, it was like in South Bend, which is where we live. There was a gay pride festival, and I got asked to play it. And I was just wondering if I could write something about maybe the experience of being in love, which is like every song I write anyway. But I was thinking about the themes of living out loud, loving out loud, not having that expression be suppressed for whatever reason. And I wanted to bring that there for that. I didn't like get up on stage and be like, hey, this is a song I wrote to represent your guys' feelings, but that's what I did. It was inspired by doing that, and that's how it came. That's how it came about. That's what it's about. It's about not caring about anything else except for being in love.
I think it's just a beautiful, beautiful song, and I love the energy. It's like a dance thing. You just want to. It's tribal, you know.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
tribal.
Yeah.
So it's
Thank
really
you.
cool. Well, listen, we're going to have you back in the next, the third quarter, the
Yep.
third part of our show, and it's been such a blessing having you in the first part.
Thank you
Thank
so much,
you.
George.
Coming up next, we'll have a song by one of our very own in-house producers. That would be me. And after that, we'll be featuring our announcer, Jacob Moreno, along with Cindy Davis, reading a beautiful poem of Frances Ellen Watkins Harper. Both of them, and Jacob's going to be reading a Robert Frost piece. They're going to be accompanied by the harp music of Cindy Boener.
With support from Judith Robert and Tom Kapazinskis, Marshall County Community Foundation, Marshall County Tourism, and the Friends of the Wild Rose Moon. You're listening to the Wild Rose Moon Radio Hour.
Well, welcome back to the Wild Rose Moon Radio Hour. We're here all masked up. I'm telling you, it's something. It's like a burglar's convention or something, you know, in the studio, all getting together to plot our next caper. Anyway, speaking of capers, I was listening to last week's radio show. In fact, I was reviewing it, and last month's, and it was so grand. John Baylor was doing that, and 4 beautiful songs, John, just gorgeous. And you did a last song about a breakup, and I thought, well, I've got a song about a breakup. I think it's a little different take on breakup, but I like it. And I wrote it a number of years ago, and it's really not about one breakup, because it took me a long time to settle down. and I had to learn a lot. And when I look back on all that, all the pain, the heartache, and all that stuff, I see how it just led to, it leads a creative life into its own emotions. And how wonderful to be able to be taken into your own emotions and think about them and let them work on you and teach you things. And so I love that opportunity. I just think that's great. And so I wrote this song, and it's called The Tailor. It never mentions the tailor in the song, but I wrote it because it just came to me. And it's called, I already said called, and Howard Gibbs is going to play. And Howard, do you have it? You can't talk, you're not on mic, but Howard Gibbs is going to accompany me on the electric guitar. Okay, here we go. She was dressed like a lampshade in a deep cobalt blue. He was hung in a time frame gone slightly askew. Red roses expressing the price of true love, till the vase up and shattered, a sign from above. A couple is kissing, it's dark in a room. The rooftop is pinging and drowns out the sound. His prayers are not answered, she just goes away. The door is thrown open, the rain's here to stay. Oh, an ache is an ache, and it won't go away. In the blackest of evenings, in the brightest of days, time issues its challenge, things fall apart. We wrestle to mend them and make a new start. Fountain of mercy, fountain of light, radiant wisdom, blessed in sight, the restless old soul in the darkest of nights. A singular mission, put everything right. They stand alone in a gallery where tiny stitches of paint are caught on a canvas with a thief and a saint. People in profile in a park like a zoo. They go into forever, him and her too. Her tears become frozen, hang still in that room. Then they fall to the hardwood in time's sonic boom. When the moment is ended, all that's left is a hole that swallowed his pride and twisted his soul. Oh, an ache is an ache, and it won't go away. In the blackest of evenings, in the brightest of days, time issues its challenge, things fall apart. We wrestle to mend them and make a new start. Fountain of mercy, fountain of light, radiant wisdom, blessed in sight, a restless old soul in the darkest of nights. A singular mission, put everything right. The road that's not taken, the path that's not took, it'll bind you and hold you, keep you lost in your books. My advice to all lovers, live out what you have. Let it teach you and serve you, and your soul will be salved. Another song's ended, so sets the sun. His Beatrice tells him his creation is done. He puts on the kettle, he doles out the tea. For the moment he's holy, for the moment he's free. Still an ache is an ache, and it won't go away. In the blackest of evenings, in the brightest of days, time issues a challenge, things fall apart. We wrestle to mend them and make a new start. Fountain of mercy, fountain of light, radiant wisdom, blessed in sight, a restless old soul in the darkest of nights. A singular mission, one singular mission, the singular mission, put everything right. Well, thank you so much. I enjoyed doing that with Howard. Wasn't he great? Oh my, let's give a nice hand. Hand for Howard. Such a pleasure. Now, I have to get back to the job at hand. And I need to talk to this gentleman over here, Jacob Moreno. It's so great having you on board. And you're doing a piece about from Robert Frost. What's the title of that piece?
The title is Mending Wall.
Yeah, Mending Wall. And can you tell us, do you know anything about Robert Frost?
I do actually. Robert Lee Frost was born in 1875, and obviously he's an American poet. But what he's well known for is the way that he depicted rural life in New England. It was just incredibly realistic, and he used those depictions to examine social and philosophical themes.
Well, that's great. And you'll be doing that today, reading one of his poems that does that very thing, although some people think that people have made too much of it in terms of that, and they've kind of, I read that opinion online. Well, maybe I'll talk to Cindy Davis about it, because in a minute here, just in a minute we'll come over. But then we're going to talk about this other wonderful person. And you tell me a little bit about this other poem and this other poet.
Okay. This is Frances Watkins Harper.
This is Cindy Boener I'm talking to. I just thought I'd point that out.
Yeah, Frances Watkins Harper. She was a freeborn African American, 1825 in Baltimore, Maryland. And she suffered a lot of hardships in her life. Her parents died when she was 3. Both parents were dead by the time she was 3. We don't know what their names were. She was raised then by an uncle and aunt. The uncle was an abolitionist, also kind of a traveling medicine man.
Wow.
But he gave her opportunities to learn, to read. She left Maryland around 1850 and went to Ohio and became the first female instructor at Union Seminary in Wilberforce, Ohio.
Wow.
Now, she had some
That's
difficulties.
quite an achievement.
Well, yeah, and of course she had some difficulties to overcome there. She was an African American. She was a woman.
Wow.
She was also the first African American woman to have an essay published. She got married in Ohio, but her husband died after 4 years. She had a young girl, a young daughter. Then her husband died, and so she couldn't return to Maryland, where she was born, because Maryland had very strict slave laws.
Oh.
And even though she was a freeborn, if she entered through the north, which is where she would be coming from, she could be sold into slavery.
Wow.
So she stayed in Pennsylvania, supported herself by writing, suffragette, giving tours, lectures, whatever. Just someone that I look at her life and it's like, this woman is amazing.
And didn't you tell me that she sat on a trolley car or something?
Oh, she did. That's right. I'd forgotten about that. About 100 years before Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat on a segregated bus, Frances refused to give up her seat.
And what's the title of the piece that we'll be doing?
It's called Truth.
Truth, okay. I'm looking forward to that. Let me get over here and talk to Cindy Davis, our resident PhD. Cindy, it's so nice to have you here.
Thank you. It's good to be here, George.
And tell me, what about the Frost thing? I read this article about them. You know, it was during the war or something that this song came out, and they've seen it in terms of political terms. But then people kind of came back and said, no, you've read way too much into this Frost poem, and that the Frost poem should just stand on its own. What is your feeling about that?
Well, all my life I've loved words.
Yeah.
Especially I love the rhymes and rhythms in words. And I like digging into the underlying secret hidden meanings of words in poems.
Yes.
But I think people can do it way too much.
Okay. All right. That's what I wanted to see. So let's get this show on the road and hear this presentation. I don't know. I'll just title it Elegy, I guess. Go ahead.
Something there is that doesn't love a wall, that sends the frozen ground swell under it, and spills the upper boulders in the sun, and makes gaps even two can pass abreast. The work of hunters is another thing. I have come after them and made repair where they have left not one stone on a stone, but they would have the rabbit out of hiding to please the yelping dogs. The gaps I mean, no one has seen them made or heard them made, but at spring mending time we find them there. I let my neighbor know beyond the hill, and on a day we meet to walk the line and set the wall between us once again. We keep the wall between us as we go to each the boulders that have fallen to each, and some are loaves, and some so nearly balls we have to use a spell to make them balance. Stay where you are until our backs are turned. We wear our fingers rough with handling them. No, just another kind of outdoor game, one on a side. It comes to little more. There where it is, we do not need the wall. He is all pine and I am apple orchard. My apple trees will never get across and eat the cones under his pines, I tell him. He only says, good fences make good neighbors. Spring is the mischief in me, and I wonder if I could put a notion in his head. Why do they make good neighbors? Isn't it where there are cows? But here there are no cows. Before I built a wall, I'd ask to know what I was walling in or walling out, and to whom I was like to give offense. Something there is that doesn't love a wall, that wants it down. I could say elves to him, but it's not elves exactly, and I'd rather he said it for himself. I see him there, bringing a stone grasped firmly by the top in each hand, like an old stone savage, armed. He moves in darkness, as it seems to me, not of woods only, in the shade of trees. He will not go behind his father's saying, and he likes having thought of it so well, he says again, good fences make good neighbors.
This poem is entitled Truth by Frances Harper. And as you listen, just think for a moment about the symbolism of the rock, which is a mighty wrong, a hard, cold, stern, and this little seed that represents the truth. Okay. A rock, for ages, stern and high, stood frowning against the earth and sky, and never bowed his haughty crest when angry storms around him pressed. Morn, springing from the arms of night, had often bathed his brow with light, and kissed the shadows from his face with tender love and gentle grace. Day, pausing at the gates of rest, smiled on him from the distant west, and from her throne the dark-browed night threw round his path her softest light. And yet he stood unmoved and proud, nor love nor wrath his spirit bowed. He bared his brow to every blast and scorned the tempest as it passed. One day, a tiny humble seed, the keenest eye would hardly heed, fell trembling at that stern rock's base and found a lowly hiding place. A ray of light, a drop of dew, came with a message kind and true. They told her of the world so bright, its love, its joy, its rosy light, and lured her from her hiding place to gaze upon earth's glorious face. So peeping timid from the ground, she clasped the ancient rock around, and climbing up with childish grace, she held him with a close embrace. Her clinging was a thing of dread. Where'er she touched, a fissure spread, and he who had breasted every storm stood frowning there, a mangled form. A truth dropped in the silent earth may seem a thing of little worth, till spreading round some mighty wrong, it saps its pillars proud and strong, and o'er the fallen ruin weaves the brightest blooms and fairest leaves.
Well, that was great. Up next, we're going to have Jake Borowski and Jess Lucille. They're going to be back with StarHeart. That was a beautiful piece by Cindy, the two Cindys, and Jacob. Thank you so much. Beautiful.
With support from Judith Robert and Tom Kapazinskis, Marshall County Community Foundation, Marshall County Tourism, and the Friends of the Wild Rose Moon, you're listening to the Wild Rose Moon Radio Hour.
Okay, tuning up time. Oh, he was good. Okay. How much more of that do you need?
Let's give it another 30 seconds or so.
Okay. Well, welcome back to the Wild Rose Moon Radio Hour. And we are here with Jake Borowski and Jess Lucille. And in just a minute, though, we have this just moment that's very important.
It's a very important moment.
A very important moment. And it can't be done properly without a little intro from our music producer, John Baylor.
There's nothing so profound or great as a moment with Nate.
Hi, Nate.
Hi, George. How you doing?
Glad you could make it today to engineer the Wild Rose Moon Radio.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to be back in the. I guess this is the.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is the pilot's chair or the galley kitchen. I'm not sure which it is, but
you look a little suspicious in your blue bandana there.
Yeah.
Like you might.
Every time I walk in the bank, they're like,
right.
We don't know how to deal with this.
I was wondering if you have some words of wisdom for us about the audio engineering world, which is so fascinating.
A little. I've had this side hobby since I was a kid of reading the music equipment magazines.
Oh yeah.
And that hobby has never gone away. It's just gotten worse actually with the internet. And I know you play acoustic guitar most of the time, but I thought, wow, if George was going to have a guitar pedal, I found the perfect one this week.
Oh, is that right?
Listen to this, because you're a night guy or a words guy.
Yeah,
right?
words guy.
So it's called the Night Sky.
The Night Sky.
Ooh, that's pretty cool, right?
So what does it do?
Get this. It's a time-warped reverberator.
So
I've never heard a more George-like pedal in my entire life. So if you're going to have a guitar pedal, I think that's the one for you.
I want that one. I do want that, regardless of what it costs me. I want that maybe for the rest of my life.
It's very expensive.
Well, thank you so much.
I'm here for you, George.
I know you are, Nate. It means the world to me. And that was a moment with Nate. So, StarHeart. And now, Jess, you told me that you would be speaking a lot during this segment.
Oh, okay. Okay, here I am.
Okay, and I'm up close. I'm behind glass, but I'm up close. So tell me, when did you get the bug to start working on music?
When I was really young, I think I remember. Gosh, I don't know what age I was. Maybe when did Madonna come out with "Like a Prayer"?
87.
So it was around that time. I remember just sitting at my kitchen table and playing that song over and over and singing with it, and I just loved it. I didn't really know what it meant, but I loved it. So that's pretty much when I just really wanted to just sing. But I was really nervous to do that in front of anybody, so I kind of just hid in my bedroom and just sang along to the radio.
But you could do that easily with your brother, right? Did you guys just
a little bit when
grow up singing harmony?
Not really. We started doing that more. What was it like? Well, maybe.
Because you were 3 years behind me in high school. So when I got into high school, I thought I was too cool for school. And
I was always trying to like, hey, can I come sing with you, Jake? Can I come?
Yeah, and I was doing that to people that were older than me. So we were,
Yeah.
You know, trying to, and then we eventually we came together when I moved away after high school. And
Yeah.
So when I got back, and this is like 8 years ago.
Wow.
That's when I had seen that she had put together a lot of music, and she was already playing around town. So
Yeah,
I was like,
I stepped out
hook me up.
of my shell, and I was really trying to just
We
I
did
don't
do
know,
musicals
become
together,
comfortable with
though.
it.
Didn't we? Weren't we in Greece together? Or were you not?
No, I wasn't in Greece, but we did do Sound of Music
Oh, yeah. There you go.
in high school.
Well,
So-
I'd really like you to step and peel out of that shell right now, okay?
Oh,
Okay.
this is it. Yeah.
Tell me
I'm
about
trying.
this song.
So this song is called "You and Me, Darlin'." This song, it's one of my more cheerful, maybe my only cheerful song. But I wrote it maybe, I don't know, about 9 years ago. But I had my first son in 2010, and before that, I had experienced miscarriages, so quite a bit of heartache and hopelessness, and then I had my first son, and it was tremendously joyful, and I was deliriously happy. And then I think this song just kind of came to me like a lightning bolt, and it just needed to happen to just remind me of cheerfulness and happy stuff. So, You and Me, Darlin'. Ready? You turn left, I turn right. Before I got the chance to tell you, I think you're out of sight. Ooh, darling, can I take you home tonight? I got this feeling the stars are aligned. Some days I'm lonely, but I survive. When your love surrounds me, I know I'll be just fine. Ooh, darling, please say you'll be mine, always be mine. It's you and me, darling, you know out of sight. It's been you and me, baby, for several years now. We know how to make things work. Our love is loud and proud. I've got you back, baby, and I know you got mine. It's you and me, darling, you know we're out of sight. You turn left and I turn right. Before I got the chance to tell you, I think you're out of sight. Ooh, darling, can I take you home tonight? It's you and me, darling, you know we're out of sight. It's you and me, darling, you know we're out of sight. It's you and me, darling, you know we're out of sight. Thank you. Thank you.
You know, you have pipes like Janis Joplin.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, amazing.
Awesome.
That's great. What a beautiful song.
Thank you.
Testament to motherhood and just, like you say, it hits you like a bolt of lightning.
Yeah, I was also that, and I was also listening to the band, their song Ophelia.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was just in my head,
In your
my
blood.
mind. Yeah, in my blood.
Yeah, you could feel it
Yeah.
written down. Do you have, do either of you have any roots in the South?
Yeah, again, our mom is, I don't know how.
Because it feels like it in your music.
She was born in the Kentucky Hills. And yeah, the earliest music that we heard her play was really rootsy, folksy stuff. And I wish we would have gotten more so we can speak about it now with more certainty. But it's definitely a part of our upbringing in a way that's just completely probably organic and germane to how we think about music now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a little, what I call Southern soul in it, you know, a little bit of Southern soul.
Yeah, we probably should plug, I mean, if you would allow us, we have a couple albums.
Please do.
Of which that
yeah.
song is on, and you can find them anywhere that albums are online.
Okay,
Apple
just
and
look up
Spotify.
StarHeart, right?
Yeah, and that last song, we got a guy, his name's Stuart Mathis, who
Stuart
plays
Mathis,
guitar
yeah.
on it, because, you just saw what I did. But this guy is a Grammy award-winning guitarist from Nashville. And our producers just sent him the tracks from our first album, and he sent us back 20 takes. And so he's all over this album, although we've only met him once when he played a gig with us in Nashville. And I don't think he knew
Who we were.
or that he was on our albums.
Yeah.
But
Well,
it made all the difference.
Yeah, he took it to the next level.
Yeah,
I
he
guess.
probably does those 3 times a day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's just amazing when that happens. I've had that happen with studio musicians. And,
Yeah, they're just
and they suddenly take you under their wing, and you,
Yeah.
just dialed in.
and you go, I'm so grateful.
Yeah.
For sure, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Whoa.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you suddenly get a whole lot more than you ever did before about music. But well, that's just brilliant and so much fun too. Your music is a great energy boost for me today.
Awesome.
So
Great. So this last one we're going to do
Yeah, our last
is gonna,
song is.
It's for people to fall asleep to.
oh,
Yeah.
fall asleep.
So
Bringing
this
you up
might-
and down.
Okay,
Yeah, that's what we like to do.
Well, don't do it just yet. Okay. I want to go a little bit. Remember unpeeling that shell. We
Okay.
wanna unpeel
All right.
that
I
shell.
can
Take a deep
the
breath.
layers. Okay.
Yeah, the layers. Right.
Okay.
So I want you to remember back what you started. Did you play guitar? When did you start playing guitar?
I started playing my freshman year of high school,
Okay.
and actually, it's because of Jake. He always played, and I thought, hey, that's cool. I want to be able to sing, but also have something along with the singing. So he taught me an Indigo Girl song, and then that's when I just kept practicing, and so.
Did you ever play for the school?
No, I did not play not in front of anybody.
So when did you start going out to play?
Going out to play
On your own?
I think I did a few
Open
mics, yeah, in what's it called? Higher
Higher
grounds?
Grounds?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I did that
Or like
a
Luna?
little
Did you go
bit
to
in high
Luna?
school. No, I
Okay.
never went to that. No, never went to
I
that.
played at
kind.
Lula's.
Yeah,
Lula's.
Yeah,
Lula's,
never
yeah.
went there, but I just and then in college I went to Ball State, so I started
Playing there. Okay.
going out and playing.
Sure.
And then my friends, they were always encouraging me to
Right.
play for them, so I got some good practice there. And then when I moved to Chicago and tried to go out there, it was pretty intimidating, but I kept trying.
Well, it is for us all.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
was,
Hey, but you had those
Well-
Potbelly jobs.
Ooh,
and that was
oh,
awesome.
that's right. Yeah, I did play
I don't know if they still do
Potbellies.
that. Not that they're
Yeah.
a sponsor or anything, but they would give us $20 an hour and a
20
sandwich. to play the
Potbelly's
lunch?
sandwich shop. Yeah, I played.
Wow.
So I played while I was going to school in Chicago. I played Potbelly's. I played for 3 hours, and it was just. I'm good with background.
Yeah.
The background music. I'm great with that. I mean, I'll totally do that. But so.
Yeah, it's probably one of our weaknesses. We'd
is
rather
that we'd
be in the
love
background.
being in the back. Yeah.
Yeah.
That confidence.
And-
I mean, it's.
And
kind of
I'd rather you be in the foreground.
I know.
Yeah. Okay, so it's so
This is so intimidating.
well, Jake and Jess, it's been so great having you here today. I'm going to let you conclude with this song of yours, and thank you for blessing Wild Rose Moon with.
Thank you. This is
Thank
amazing.
you.
I'm really glad we
you.
got to do this.
This is called Good Night, My Love. Good night, my love. Good night, my love. Day is done. Let's rest till the morning comes. Good night, my love. Good night, my love. Even though you're far, you're with me wherever you are. Good night, my love. Good night, my love. Good night, my love. The day is done. Let's rest till the morning comes. Good night, my love. Good night, my love. Even though you're far, you're with me wherever you are. Good night, my love. Good night, my love. Good night, my love.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely
Thanks,
breathtaking music. Take your freaking heart out of your chest and shake it. Music from StarHeart. Amazing. Just amazing. Thank you so much.
With support from Judith Robert and Tom Kapazinskis, Marshall County Community Foundation, Marshall County Tourism, and the Friends of the Wild Rose Moon. You've been listening to the Wild Rose Moon Radio Hour.
Thank you so much, Jacob, and thanks to our special guests, Jake Borowski and Jess Lucille, and John Baylor for his beautiful theme music, Howard Gibbs for his accompaniment on my song, The Tailor, and setting up all this stuff. I'd also like to thank our announcer, Jacob Moreno, for reading, Robert Frost, Cindy Boener for her beautiful harp music, and, of course, our resident PhD, Cindy Davis, for her mellifluous tones and I-ams. Thank you to Nate Butler, our co-producer and sound engineer, our associate producer, Katie DeGooch, Ryan Mear, and video producer, Matthew Bergmoser, our photographer and videographer, Howard Gibbs, our alpha male stage manager, Marcia Heinsberger, our set designer, Jean Pazdurka and Jennifer Reed, our hospitality team, Mark Woolever, our resident Buddha, and our plexiglass engineer and our geek squadron leader, J.R.R.R. Berger. We love you, Gene Pazdurka out there in Baltimore. Just wanted to tell you that. John, are you hungry enough to fire up that fretboard and loosen those vocal cords?
George, I am always hungry.
Go!
So when you think you lost that life, all pain and heartache,
You bet.
fill your soul with strife. Just remember,
Just remember,
as you're tumbling down,
if you're tumbling down,
it won't be long
it won't be long.
till the river goes round.
Everybody, river goes round.
Round the bend, river goes round, round, round till the very end. And when it stops, it starts again.
Yeah.
Won't be long till the river goes round.
Here we go.
River goes round, round the bend. River goes round, round, round till the very end. And when it stops,
Oh, when it stops,
it starts again.
it starts again.
Won't be long
Won't be long.
till the river goes round.
River goes round.
Won't be long till the river goes round.